A pleasant aroma for you, but not for mosquitoes. Pick is easy to use. Light it and forget it. Pick's aroma keeps mosquitoes, gnats, and sandflies away. Pick is the best protection for barbecues, fishing and camping trips, or just relaxing in the yard.
So if you don't want our company ever anywhere, just like Pick him. See what I mean? Bye.
A mist-away system sprays a very fine mist of a dilute insecticide through a nozzle circuit that is installed around the perimeter of a backyard or other area where people want to spend time outdoors and don't want to worry about pesky insects. In a residential application, the system's controller is typically timed to automatically spray a few times a day for 45 to 60-second durations. The mists are usually programmed for the times around dawn, dusk, and in the evening when the mosquitoes are most active and the homeowners want to be outside. The systems are also equipped to mist on demand by pressing a button on a remote control. The mist kills insects on contact, in the air, or in landscaping where they harbor. The most common use of the systems is to control mosquitoes, but the materials used are known as broad-spectrum insecticides, and they are also effective against other insects, like gnats or No-See-ums, midges, flies, spiders, or wasps. The active ingredient in the insecticides most commonly used in our systems is comprised of chemicals called pyrethrins, which are derived from the extract of chrysanthemum daisies that are grown in East Africa and Tasmania in Australia. In addition to being widely used in horticulture, pyrethrin formulations are found in household aerosols, trigger sprayers, and pet shampoos. Pyrethrins are also commonly used to protect food processing locations and equipment and to protect stored foods like grain. What makes pyrethrins and just a few other components suitable for misting? They are effective against flying insects in low concentrations. They are very low in toxicity in mammals because they are rapidly broken down in the body. And they are rapidly degraded by sunlight or rain, quickly leaving the area free of residual active ingredients. Now let's talk about the components of the system, starting with the nozzle circuit. The nozzle circuit is typically installed so that it traces a perimeter of protection around the treatment area. The perimeter is created by installing low-profile nozzles spaced about every 10 feet apart on fences or walls, on eaves, on trees, or on risers in landscape beds. The mist pattern is conical in shape and projects 8 to 10 feet from the nozzle tip. The droplets produced by mist-away nozzles have an average diameter of about 40 microns, which means they can efficiently cover a large area with a very small amount of insecticide. The nozzles are connected with 1/4-inch nylon tubing. The nylon stands up well to sunlight and seasonal temperature swings without wilting, sagging, or cracking. The tubing is cut to fit and connects the nozzle circuit with push-to-connect fittings like this. The fittings are nickel-plated and stand up well to the elements. Mist-Away supplies two different models of its misting machines, the Gen 1.3 drum and Gen 3 Plus tankless units. In the traditional drum-based unit, Gen 1.3, the insecticide is introduced by pouring the concentrate into the reservoir and then diluting it with water from a garden hose. Our proprietary digital controller, a motor coupled to an atomizing pump, and an agitator are mounted to an aluminum chassis atop the plastic drum. That assembly is protected from the elements by a molded plastic enclosure and a soft waterproof cover. The Gen 3 Plus tankless unit shares many of the same components as Gen 1.3, and both can drive the same number of nozzles. There are two important differences between the two units. The first is pretty obvious, how it looks. Gen 3 Plus occupies roughly 1/3 of the space of the 55-gallon Gen 1.3 drum unit. And it looks like a household appliance with an aluminum cabinet covered with a high-quality powder coat. The second difference lies in how the concentrated insecticide is introduced and diluted. In contrast to Gen 1.3, where it is poured in by hand, Gen 3 Plus does this automatically. The concentrate is supplied in a bottle that is plugged into the unit. The water is supplied by a connection to a water faucet. When a new bottle is snapped in, the user programs a mix recipe that governs the ratio of water to concentrate, and the Gen 3 Plus automatically meters in the right amount with each mist. In addition to its obvious aesthetic advantage, it takes much less time for a technician to replenish a Gen 3 Plus versus a drum unit, and it allows for more flexibility with respect to mist concentration, mist duration, and replenishment frequency. We'll talk more about the equipment and why it is the best in the industry later in the series. But let's finish our overview by addressing the elephant in the room. Do the systems really work? Because if they don't, it really doesn't matter how well the equipment is engineered. There are a couple of ways to answer that question. A research study in 2007, funded by the state of Florida and conducted by entomologists at Florida A&M University, documented the effectiveness of the systems by comparing mosquito counts in sites that had mist-away systems to counts in control sites that didn't. During the first few weeks of the study, mean mosquito abundance in treated yards was lower compared with untreated yards, where reduction ranged from 71% to 98%. And following a drought during the middle of the study period, reduction ranged from about 62% to 91% compared with yards without the systems. But that's only one way to answer the question of whether the systems work.
We have a close-knit family of all of our customers. So many of our customers know each other because it's mostly based on referrals. And you're not going to tell somebody to go and buy something, one of your closest friends, if it's something that doesn't work.
What is it about the business that is really makes me keep doing it and makes me enjoy it is the people aspect of it. You meet a great variety of customer, which we call friends almost, because we have become friends with these people. You sell them a product that is to give them the pleasure of being outside again, and as in most marketing pitches, they kind of believe you, kind of don't. But the nice part about it is, once they have the system installed, they are absolutely amazed at the fact that there are just no more bugs in their yard.